What up? It's your boy Random Reese. Today we talking about Nicki Minaj, Joe Budden beef. You know what I mean? Joe Budden and the whole crew, whole podcast, Rory, Maul, Parks, they went on Nicki Minaj's show, Queen Radio, yesterday, a couple days ago. And then Nicki starts cursing Joe out, spazzing on him. Then she cut his mic off. I don't know. I think she was out of pocket, in my opinion. I fuck with Joe Budden and the entire podcast. I like his show. I think he brings a lot to the hip hop culture. And some things he's off point. Some things he reaches with. You know, he definitely gets in his moods. But for the most part, I think he keep it 100. But Nicki was out of pocket, man. She was out of pocket. She started cursing at Joe, shutting him up, like kept cutting him off every time Joe tried to respond. You know what I mean? I think that shit was uncalled for. Like you're gonna bring him on your platform and you're gonna go at him. And she came straight for the neck. She was setting him up real nicely. But let him speak. Let him answer the questions. And then the last part, she cut his mic off. She said, cut his mic, cut his mic. Yeah, I guess people was probably getting on Joe for leaving, and then they was getting on Rory and Parks for staying, and Maul for staying. But I don't blame them for staying because they was going to do her show. She was going to do their show with them later. So, you know, I don't blame them niggas for staying because, like I said, they was trying to keep it cordial. But she shouldn't have cut his mic off. That shit was corny. You know, like why would you stay if you don't if you just got someone yelling at you, but you don't have a chance to rebuttal or say anything? Like, you know what I mean? So she was screaming at Joe because she said he was lying about Nicki. And the two situations are totally different. But the whole incident was that she was saying that, oh, you did this record like this, or like she got hopped on Motorsport, but Joe said he didn't know that. Joe said Nicki didn't know she was on the thing. And then he was saying that when she did the live with Meg the Stallion, is that Nicki set it up. It wasn't an authentic live where she did her live and then Meg the Stallion hopped on and then they put the song together right then and there. Joe was saying that the song was already done or in the works, and then it was a nice rollout that they did it on live. And then Nicki's like, nah, you lying on me, da 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 da. All right, Joe may be wrong in his thoughts about how the song came about, the process, but I don't think he's calling you a liar. You know what I mean? Like if you listen to his show, which she admitted she doesn't listen to the podcast, Rory or Maul, because she kept messing up the names wrong. She called Maul Molly or some shit like that. On Joe Budden podcast, she asked Rory, what's your name again? And she was coming at Rory neck for saying he got his privilege. I'm just like it actually came out of nowhere. Fucking. So if you listen to their show, they always speculate on rollouts and how it's done and how some rollouts are done properly. They talked about the Lil Nas X rollout and how they had him in the cut for a long time, and then boom, they knew this song was going to hit, and they had the perfect rollout for him, and it just rolled out perfectly. Like the whole backstory about how they released the song and it didn't hit, then it didn't chart on the country charts, and then they put Billy Ray Cyrus on it. You know, then it started to chart, and then it just took off from there. Like they knew it was a hit. I don't think his record label knew it was going to blow up like this, but the way they rolled it out made it even perfect. It's kind of like you kind of had to get behind the song and had to listen to it. I was like, what's this song that's popping? What's this black kid doing with a country song? I gotta listen to it. That's the way I felt. So because they had it, they knew that this song wasn't going to chart in the country. They probably already had it set up. So that's what they mean by rollouts and stuff like that. So, you know, and Joe, Rory, they always talk about different rollouts and different sets and how people do things differently and how they work effectively. And they was giving Nicki her props, but she was like, "Nah, I don't care about my props. I know it wasn't a negative light, but you called me a liar." Da 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 da. And then on Joe Budden's show, she avoided a lot of the questions they asked her. Like they asked her about, "Did you change your verse after you heard Cardi's verse?" and then she switched the narrative. She mixed that. She didn't answer that question. She's good. She's good at like deflecting questions, bobbing and weaving, changing up the perspective, changing up the narrative of what they talking about. Changing up the subject. They asked her a question and she flipped it and say, "Hold up, let's go back to this because well, this happened," and then you forget about the whole question. She's real good at that. She's been doing this for a long time. You should tell she's trained really well, and then that's her natural street savvy of how to to change the subject. Like she's real good at that. But I don't know. Oh, she also called. She said she was saying Joe hates women. Like, where did that come from? Joe, how does he hate women? Because, like, how does he hate women? Like, a lot of shit she was saying just they were just off point and just off basis. She just was just attacking Joe and getting behind it. She was saying Joe's saying reckless stuff because he has a platform and people hop on his platform. At the time 2 years ago, Joe podcast wasn't popping like it's popping right now. He wasn't doing 2 shows a week or traveling like this, doing a live podcast. Like he been doing his podcast for a while, but his podcast to me really just started to pick up steam when he was doing Complex. Then it was like, oh, he on Complex? Oh, he got a podcast too? Oh, let me check his podcast out. And I think that's when his podcast really started to take off and see more views and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff Joe was saying on his podcast, remind you, his podcast comes on and then it comes out maybe like 2 or 3 days later on YouTube. I'm not sure if everyone checked for it on Spotify. I checked for it on Spotify as soon as it dropped, but it comes on YouTube like 2 days later. So it came on it just dropped this morning, Wednesday. I listened to it this morning. It's going to be on YouTube on Friday or Thursday. So it's going to be on YouTube probably Friday morning. That's when most people probably check it out, you know. So a lot of stuff they were saying about the song, about the bars thrown at each other on Motorsport about Cardi and Nicki, that was already on internet before Joe even touched on that part. So people was like, did they hear the verse? So people was already talking and speculating whether or not they heard each other's verses, whether or not the song got cleared. Did they hear the verse, then go back and change it, and then what happened? So that stuff was already on the internet before Joe and even started talking about it. So I think Nicki was definitely out of pocket. Her and her barbs just sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up. She just was like, she just was out of pocket, man. She's scared. She ain't the #1 female artist anymore. She kept talking about how she write her rhymes. She kept saying it over and over and over, even when her rhymes wasn't even been into question. She was saying how she got bullied for 12 years and how she had to deal with all this other stuff and so it was like she just kept she needs validation so bad that you know what I mean. She just wants to scream at somebody, and Joe Budden was the perfect person to go at because he's a polarizing figure. So I think she's scared of Cardi. She's scared of Meg, even though they did a song together. She's scared of all these females coming up trying to take her crown. Now, Nicki may be the best female rapper ever at the moment, but it ain't solidified. Like, you know what I mean? Like, her last album was average. Like, she hasn't done a hot verse in a long time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. She's held her own with the best of them, with Hov, with Ross. You know what I mean? On Monster, she killed it. She had the best verse, and then everybody want to keep saying she got dragged by Safari talking about he wrote some of her lyrics and stuff like that. She doesn't keep saying how she write all her stuff, and some of these rappers don't. Cardi don't write a lot of her stuff, but a lot of people don't care anymore. I'm old school. I'm from the '90s era, golden era hip hop. Like writing your rhymes means something, but I think she's scared. She definitely was coming. She wanted somebody to take shots at. Joe was the punching bag. He took the shots and like, all right, fuck it. It is what it is. But you know what I mean, she's scared. They coming for her. Nobody's trying to get her out of here. She said people trying to get her out of here. Like, who is trying to get you out of here? What purpose does it serve for people to get you out of here? There's enough room for these female rappers to shine. There's enough room for everybody to eat. You know what I mean? So, but she's scared that people just out there being better than her right now. Cardi's better than her. She got a better vibe. What's her name? Meg got a better energy right now. They putting out better songs than her too. So we'll see. Anyway, if y'all barbs get in my comments, fuck it. Roast me. I don't give a fuck. But hit that like and subscribe button while you do. It's your boy Random Meats, and I'm out.